Самое главное, уничтожайте ментов в своей голове. Всегда, если вам кто-то что-то приказывает, подумайте, действительно ли это так или не действительно. Убейте мента в голове, обдумывайте, больше рефлексируйте, критически относитесь к происходящему. Нашей страны. Пора, брат, делай свои руки, избави свой город от серой чумы, от серой чумы, от серой чумы. Оу, полетели бутылки, оу, упал автомат, товарищ майор, усатая книга отправляется прямо в если будет толкать микрофон, я не смогу петь. Помятая форма, хрустит голова. Эй, сейби, смерть не там от ножа. The punk for me, it's action. Is to do something. To do something by yourself.
Старший лейтенант Петренко. Была только что остановлена демонстрация экстремистов.
Para mí también todo esto es parte de esa música que es el punk. Es luchar por esto, es intentar siempre buscar alternativas y criticar las cosas que te parecen mal proponiendo. Significa una de las pocas cosas en las cuales puedes descargar tanto tu rabia como decir lo que piensas.
Punk is my family. And I love the people who are involved. I love the spirit and the hope, which I think is really a big part of the punk scene.
That's our apple tree. Blueberries. You could say, don't call it punk, call it a movement of people doing something different. And therefore, all these people who are different are individuals individually deciding what they wanted to do differently.
Punk is DIY. It feels like anyone could play in a punk band. And it's not such a difference between, oh, there's a band, here's the fans. It's like more like everyone doing everything together in a like community.
How do you explain it, DIY? It's just kind of obvious. Touring and networks and meeting friends and building places, making places happen. Making things happen.
To do things without waiting, without asking for permission, and just make your own free space and make it the way you want it.
It's a question of independence. When you're doing your own stuff, you're just recording your music, you printing your own like magazines, your own records or the records of your friends who have the same views as you, then you are totally independent.
The DIY culture gives me the opportunity to do things I want to do in a way I want to do and to attack things on the outside. I guess the distribution is kind of like an expression of myself, being against the state and being against the status quo and looking for kind of complete change, personal change as well as global political change, then yeah, that's kind of fits in with what we'll do. Do the stuff with as little worry about the commerce as possible. So we try to get things as cheap as possible and we try to pass them on as cheap as possible. And this is so fucking DIY, I love this. These are the great Hetfort van Schaco Amsterdam info shop. I shipped the active stall to them and then picked it up from them and then I cycled the active stall across Amsterdam on a bicycle, which I've never done before.
We are not contributing to the circle of capitalism because we are not interested in the capital or the money. The whole thing about spending all your time getting the money to spend your money on something you don't need is quite stupid.
If you say do it yourself, you actually really are meaning doing it ourselves or doing it for each other. And if you think doing it for each other, then actually that's a far more forceful idea than doing it yourself.
Because our gigs were always fundraisers. You know, it would go to a project. We say, yeah, you know, find the hall, we'll set it up on the next tour, we'll make a thing, you know, and then the money goes to that project, which was great.
The idea is that that there's not a fixed price to come in, but that everybody helps in some way with the event.
We contribute with our concerts and with our music, and when we play a show, we like to break the barriers between the band and the audience.
Music is something to listen to dance to enjoy, but sometimes, well, a lot of times, especially punk music has a message. And we use the band to bring that message across.
Von Kultur und Kultur ist auf jeden Fall politisch, wenn man das will und manchmal auch, wenn man es nicht will. Und ob das Punk heißt oder ob das Hardcore heißt oder ob das Rap heißt oder Hip-Hop im Allgemeinen.
Egal, was ich in meinem Leben so vorhab, in jedem Fall kämpfe ich für Sprache und Wortschatz. Diese meine Sprache ist Ausdruck des Denkens, bei Glaubensbekenntnis, Vertrauen und Verständnis. Gebrauche sie ständig wie Augen und Hände, es sich nicht begrenzen durch Mauern und Wände.
aus Songtexten können Sätze entstehen, die als Leitsätze irgendwie auch Generationen prägen können.
I think it's important, it's like a duty for me to say important things when I have the opportunity to be on stage, and that people listen to our music and what we talk about, and we get a lot of appreciation for our lyrics. And because that we are political, I have to take the chance to communicate that. Not enough to be on stage and sing about it like, hey, I'm a rock star and I have good lyrics, so please listen, and then you go out and do the work. We do the work together, and I'm here on stage, but I'm also an activist.
You play music, you play concerts for these people, and then after a while you also realize that this scene is connected worldwide.
I quite enjoy that, to be part of a family, if you like, a gang, a bunch of people going somewhere together with a purpose.
The front down is locking side, one is extra in the circle. It's only on one lock, right?
Being at home, doing a lot of work on my own, doesn't give me much purpose.
It's all right,
We've always played in little bands that have toured around and never had any like aspirations of beyond of being rock stars or anything. We just simply do what we do.
Let it be. I'm Ringo.
Got a little more politicised as when we were like leaving school time, going kind of college time, and like CRASS were around then, and we're going around. We were going to see CRASS whenever we could go and see them. And
Punk was political in the beginning, but CRASS made it obviously political.
What has become the punk movement has grown almost exclusively out of what we did to it. Before that, there was rock and roll.
CRASS came along and kind of like gave us punk rock of a pretty angry nature. I mean, that stuff at the time now seems quite slow and quite melodic compared with a lot of the kind of crust hardcore stuff which is produced nowadays. But at the time, that was really, really kind of like,
When Steve and myself started, sort of making punkish music, I was very aware of that avant-garde tradition of forcing people to stand back, so to find a true way in, rather than simply giving a commodity.
CRASS, when they came along, it helped develop other people's ideas. I don't think CRASS meant it as a totalitarian state where they're going to tell you you've got to do this and you've got to do that. They were giving people the ideas and hoping that you could work them out for yourself.
You couldn't really not notice what they're about, and there was something important going on. That fed to a lot of people. A lot of people kind of like reacted to that and thought, wow, you know, this is something serious. The CRASS gigs were, you know, organised by people who were activists, who were like, you know, the non-violent direct action people who were going around and smashing up nuclear bunkers or protesting at the bases and stuff. And the people who came to the gigs were a whole mixture of, you know, people who were intellectually quite interested in where the hell these, you know, popular anarchists had come from.
CRASS and what they represent are attacked politically from all sides. The right see them simply as criminals out to destroy the existing structures of society. The left see them as hopeless utopians, deviationists, nearer to a bunch of bandits. As for the authorities, they don't like anarchists in general because they're unpredictable. You can never tell how they're going to react to a given political situation.
So it was a process that we were trying to engage the audience in a process, and our performances were even more so, where you'd have, say, maybe 3 big screens and different things happening, and you couldn't see the band. We never lit ourselves.
I'd never really seen anything like it before. There was poetry over like weird noises, and then there was a band, and then there was a bit more like a film and everything, and a multimedia thing, and the whole television's firing up, and, you know, just like a total barrage.
You are the ultimate pornography with your cunt fear, cop fear, man fear, woman fear, unfair, warfare, 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 warfare.
Everybody put everything they had into it. Really did. They put their heart and soul into that, especially on stage. I was never on stage, thank God. I operated from the front, you know, the lights, the sound, everything like that. You know, the tapes and things, and the films going on.
It was a deliberate idea, which has its traditions in the avant-garde, of sort of demanding as much creative thought from the audience as from the artist.
Because it was pretty heavy, those gigs, really heavy. Visually, sound, everything. We were always available after. It was very important for the band to stop and then be in the hall for people to ask questions and share something.
I mean, that was the important thing about CRASS, is it felt like they were genuine. It felt they were real. It felt like you could actually believe they meant what they said.
They were very influential, yes, and in the words and in the music, and going to see them live and seeing it all come together, and drinking tea with them, and having a sandwich, and sleeping in the train station, and having the leaflets to read in the train station when you were spending the night there. And
they came in with the anti-nuclear movement, which was growing and was big. They came in with kind of post-feminism, first wave of feminism. They came in with a rise in vegetarian awareness, and they obviously helped those movements dramatically.
What we were saying was wide, although there was an attack on the Falklands and that, but it was about oppression, it was about war. And it's no different to the next oppression, just a different subject, but it's still the same old shit. You know, and we said what we had to say and we stopped, and I think it's still relevant now, what we said.
The scheme is really simple. If you play good music, and people like it, then people start to listen to your message. They start to read your lyrics, to check your views, and if they like your music, if you do really quality and good stuff, then you have a good chance that these people will share your point of views, or at least they will be educated.
We once played a show, we played 2 songs, and then we had a discussion or argument with the crowd for an hour, and then played a couple of more songs. And that, for me personally, was one of the greatest shows we ever played. I really believe in communication. So you talk to these people and they agree or disagree, but that's not important, just the fact that you make people think about stuff.
How many of you believe that you live in a free country? Raise your hands. Oh, that much. Well, I totally agree with you, because do not consider yourself free. In the end, we're all just reduced to fucking wage slaves.
It's very fast and loud, so it's really hard for a lot of people to access our sort of music. But then again, we play the music we like.
The lyrics inspiring the noise that we make. And
if it wouldn't be for lyrics, we would not play.
To start a band to get an outlet for our political ideas, and maybe we just don't want to grow up as well like that. As long as the things don't change, then I think you should keep addressing the issues that you cared about like 20 years ago. And in some way we were really stubborn about it as well. But a lot of people turn their back to the whole political scene and the punk scene, and when you meet them on the street again, they say, well, still playing in that punk band? When are you going to grow up and things like that? But I say, yeah, okay, but are you not angry about all the shit that's still happening around you?
Do you ever think about what life is about? Basically, for most of us, we have to work ourselves to death till we're 65 or 67 and fucking die. That's what it is.
I think we all 3 come from working class families. You've seen your father work all his fucking life, and you see him go in pension and die pretty quickly after that, enjoying the last few years as a free man. But before that, and then to a certain extent you come in that same mechanism as well. And we have all houses, but you get certain responsibilities. You have to pay the bills, you have to pay the rent, and those kind of mechanisms make it for that you have less and less freedom. A lot of the creativity I had with me is now going most of the time to just work to survive. Why should it be that way, that everybody has to, in the end, turn out to be a fucking wage slave and nothing more than that? Why you could be much more creative, and it seems like the system don't give you much room to be that way.
Todo el mundo queremos expresarnos de una forma un poco, no sé, un poquito más elevada, ¿no? No sé, que necesito alguna forma para sentirme vivo. Lo que pasa que hay una serie de cabrones que parece que no les gusta. No sé, pues no sé si al final se limita un poco a esto, a exigir tu derecho y simplemente a vivir.
Para mí la música significa intentar construirte una especie de mundo diferente al que te imponen vivir en esta sociedad.
And that's what maybe is so important about do-it-yourself. You be creative and it can be fun and it gives you kind of a freedom as well. Basically do-it-yourself is another word for anarchism as well, I think, or communism if you want. Because that's the equivalent of people taking control of their own lives in a much more political way probably than we do now. Because now we give most of the things away to politicians, to our managers, to our bosses, to our preachers, to our, all the people who are in power right now. So, but if people would take their own responsibility of their neighborhoods, of the factories or shit like that, that would be a do-it-yourself attitude. And I think, yeah, that would be in that way a lot more better than the system that we have now.
Sometimes I think society is pretty fucked. I think we're kind of on a pretty hopeless descent. But I've come to realise in the last few years, within that hopelessness is a real inspiration to try and do things.
One person who says this is the status quo, these are the ideas that we should follow, and everyone kind of goes along with it, which is what we do now. But there are so many of us who don't agree with it, and there are things that we want to change. Maybe music can't change people's opinions, but it can be like a soundtrack.
Jag hatar det här samhället och jag ska kämpa tills jag dör. Jag hatar det här samhället.
Punk rock is about saving lives. It's about going against this. About I will not behave because I don't agree, and it's not me that is the problem. It's part of the oppression that if you are forced to keep everything inside yourself, and you're forced to just behave and be a good student, be a good worker, be a good mother or father. It ruins people's life to always have to fit in a special role.
It's like this, you have the space to do this.
For me, music is so important, such a big part of my life. I have so many feelings and I need to express them. I need to show that I have feelings, that I'm a person, that I think all the time.
if you are used to listening to music where the verse is 4 times and then 4 times chorus and then 2 times the bridge and then it's over, maybe it's complicated with our stuff. But it depends how you see it, and if you want to express something which is chaotic, it's not the right thing if you make 4-4-4. It doesn't go together with your message, you know.
Like to put out a lot of intensity and energy and different specters of emotions. Like for us, it's a lot of aggression, but it's also aggression in a positive way, to get in contact with that feeling inside of you. I find it difficult in such a complex society. I feel that humanity has created their own world within the world that doesn't fit with the rules, for example, of nature. It's tough to live in this world around me. It's not natural. It's not for me. Maybe for some people it's okay to spend their whole life in the institution, you know, to finish school, to get a job for the rest of your life, to buy a house, get kids, get a car, you know. But for me, it's not natural. I want something more. I want something, and at the same time, not what society has to offer in that way, because I need a lot less than that. I want to plant some trees, maybe.
Together with some friends, we have a place close to Oslo. It's in the forest, and we build our own houses. Since 10 years. We own the place. We only pay for electricity. We get water from a stream. We compost everything from biodegradable food, and the toilets are compost, so we try to leave as less trace in nature as possible. Instead of buying into what you want, we try to make what we want.
Intentamos crear una alternativa a todo lo que vemos que está podrido alrededor, que a lo mejor para no todo el mundo sean las mejores, pero que son con las que nosotros nos sentimos más sinceros y más consecuentes.
Seguim ocupant espais. Así como...
Sí, pero no ya.
El
tema que vamos a hacer este año es de la Semana Trágica, que es una insurrección civil que pasó hace 100 años exactamente. Lo que pasó es que España estaba en una guerra colonial, tenía unos intereses comerciales en las minas del Rif, en Marruecos, y enviaban levas militares. Y entonces como que la población de aquí se comió mucho de tener que ir a esa guerra y afectó a las clases populares, los que no podían pagar.
Este cuadrado así.
Entonces la dejamos con un poquito de...
Yo diría que sí. Estos hombres que están en reserva eran los padres de familia los que aportaban dinero a las familias. Al llevarlos a la guerra, las familias esas no tenían ni un duro.
La mitad de ellos se murió justo en la primera batalla que hubo y como que la gente pues empezó a organizar una huelga.
Fueron los primeros insurgentes que hubieron. No, fueron los primeros que achacaron. Justamente a los que mataron fueron los cabecillas del anarquismo, los intelectuales, los que están haciendo más cuestiones de ruido hacia el pueblo.
La represión de esa revuelta y cómo respondió la gente, pues es algo que sigue ocurriendo hoy en día, pues porque sigue existiendo represión y porque nosotros, claro, y nosotros tenemos que estar en el lado de apoyar esa solidaridad con las víctimas de esta represión. Y al final, el pozo anarquista que había en esa insurrección es básico. Y como que si nosotros tenemos que reivindicar lo que ahí ha pasado porque...
Fue el principio, fue de las
porque realmente estamos influenciados por ese movimiento de esos días y que bueno, por eso no nos vamos a olvidar. Y si tenemos oportunidad, pues lo vamos a hacer. Y es lo que hacemos este año.
En Barcelona o bueno, en Cataluña en general está claro que también la tradición anarquista pesa, pero bueno, de esto ya van a hacer 100 años. Ahora la situación es muy diferente. A lo mejor lo que tenemos que hacer es buscar nuevas soluciones.
Nosotros aprovechamos para ocupar un espacio para montar este festival que se hace principalmente benéfico para personas que tienen caso política, principalmente compañeros anarquistas y gente que tiene causas, juicios y cosas así. También sirve como para denunciar la especulación que hay en Gracia y en Barcelona, que hay muchos sitios en los cuales hay inmobiliarias que compran espacios como estos y los tiran y esperan a que valgan más para venderlos.
¿Cómo está la fusta aquesta?
Aquesta no m'agrada. Del más barato.
Además de ocupar sitios para vivir y todo, es una manera también de mostrar que este tipo de fiestas se pueden organizar de una manera diferente. Y involucra a mucha gente, lo cual es difícil, pero es muy satisfactorio también ver que personas que igual somos a lo mejor más cercanas o no tanto se pueden organizar.
Venga, que va el 4.
Cierto es que somos un desastre, pero bueno, es parte del encanto de estas fiestas, un poco la improvisación y el caos y la espontaneidad, vamos, que es parte de lo que no queremos que se pierda.
¿Qué te dicen? ¿De ir por allí dentro o qué?
No, por ahí arriba.
No lo metas de todas maneras. Por favor.
Hay un balcón aquí, tío.
Venga,
Tira, tira. Si enciendamos este primero, ahora que se encienda muy fácil. Vale. Venga.
Yo en realidad llevo aquí 5 años. Aquí he encontrado algo que siempre he estado buscando. Cuando me di cuenta estaba trabajando 10, 12 horas, un montón de deudas con el banco, pagando un alquiler que al final no podía pagar y creyéndome todo esto de que tú en realidad si trabajas y tal, como recompensa vas a tener una seguridad o algo así.
¡Oh, qué bonito! ¡Oye!
un collarín de nada, ¿sabes?
Allí nunca me planteé la ocupación como un problema de vivienda, sino como un problema de una falta de espacios para actividades. Yo la primera vez que he ocupado una casa es porque no tenía donde dormir.
No, claro, sí, es que es pequeñita esta. Es que es pequeña. Claro, no es la grande de fuera.
Sí, yo tengo la mía. Cuando la gente está teniendo que trabajar 12 horas y 7 horas o 8 de lo que trabaja al día es para pagar un alquiler de una vivienda, una casa de mierda, y hay gente que se está haciendo millonaria con esto, pues bueno, pues hay una desproporción brutal. Entonces, pues quien quiera colaborar, pues bueno, oye, que lo haga. Pero desde luego, pues no lo pienso seguir haciendo. Me parece que ya está, es una cuestión de justicia y punto. Vale, está claro que vivimos en un mundo del comercio y todo tiene un precio, pero bueno, que sea un precio real.
Vamos allí mejor.
No, tienes que ir ya.
¿Desde mi casa cogí la mía? Bueno, ya
Trabajo poco, trabajo lo menos que puedo, reciclo lo más que puedo e intento, bueno, no alquilar un piso para no tener que depender de un trabajo. Preferimos reciclar, preferimos ocupar casas, robar, y eso nos permite tener mucho más tiempo libre para dedicarle a este tipo de proyectos y no tener que trabajar para vender nuestra mano de obra por una mierda como la pagan aquí.
9 barras. 9.
Aunque me comprometa hasta solamente un día, siempre termino quedándome los 3 días aquí. Eso es lo que está bien, que no es como un trabajo para ninguno. Siempre, todos los que estamos aquí estamos por gusto y la pasamos bien. No es un festival que lo monte ni un sello, no sé qué. Es un festival en el que tocan grupos de cualquier cosa, sin importar el tipo de música que toquen, pero que la finalidad siempre es una finalidad política que va más allá del punk o del hip hop o de lo que sea, del sonido que tengan los grupos. A pesar de que a muchos de nosotros lo que más nos gusta es el punk. Que crea una amistad muy bonita entre la gente, porque muchos de nosotros nos involucramos con estas ideas a través de la música. Yo, por ejemplo, y descubres que es mucho más que solamente música, ¿no? Que hay muchos grupos y mucha gente aquí que toca en grupos y que lo que dicen lo creen y lo practican.
people are engaged in the punk scene and they also engage in other things, in other movements, like for the No One Is Illegal movement.
Men då ska jag säga att vi är här. Tänk på oss, tänk på alla som är här nu. Att vi är tillsammans. Du är inte ensam.
Or the concept starts with the network No One Is Illegal, and it's about helping hidden refugees. The bands that we have on these festivals only pay for gas money and sleeping places. All the money goes directly to the hidden refugees. It goes to like food and medical care and school for children and like everything you need for survival.
It's for a very good cause, and it's like a statement to play here as well. Like, you take a stand for something, and that feels very good.
You gave me nothing but a broken heart, an empty wallet, and a broken heart. My soul is over, the last can get over, when you get the back.
Actually, I'm very grateful that they asked us to play, because I feel great being a part of this punk illegal.
It's really helpful and people care about each other, and there's a lot of strong girls and a lot of people doing a lot of really good things.
Everything can be political if you want to. I mean, just me standing on the stage being a girl could be political if you want to.
Maybe the last 10 years or so, we've had a really big feminist, separatist DIY scene, and now it's paying off.
We've had instrumental workshops and shows, festivals to get women to play and take place also on stage. Here in Sweden, almost 50% of the audience is girls. So why then the bands should be 50% as well? I don't think about myself as a girl. I'm just someone who's interested in music. I don't see men as men and women as women, you know. And if I want to take a masculine attribute, I can just use it whatever way I want.
Hey girl, don't say no shit. If they try to put you down, this is how to handle it. So be aggressive. Be aggressive, girls. Be aggressive. Be aggressive, girls.
I think cheerleaders are very good at pepping people, and we want to be like, I think so anyway, like a pep cheerleading squad for the political people. Like if maybe cheerleaders usually are for a guy's football team, we want to be a pep team for the other girls out there and pep them like, yeah, you can do it.
You know, we didn't see ourselves as girls, boys. We saw ourselves as punks. So we were one and the same.
Angebote oder Möglichkeiten, sich zu identifizieren in dieser Subkultur, sind halt einfach irgendwie alle scheiße.
Queen ist überzeugt davon, dass Ziele verbinden. Das ist der Tagesordnungspunkt, Kategorien überwinden. Queen kennt nur Homies und Toys, keine Männer und Frauen. Denn Queen ist damit raus, dem Quatsch länger zu trauen. Queen zeigt sich solidarisch mit dem Regenbogen. Pro-Homo soll doch die ganze Szene toben. Queen liebt nun mal die Menschen lieben. Und nicht diejenigen Menschen, die Grenzen lieben. Queen feiert insbesondere den Spaß an der Freude und setzt alles daran.
Deswegen war einfach klar, ich muss irgendwas Eigenes schaffen und habe halt diesen Queen-Begriff für mich so gefunden, der sozusagen sprachlich die Mitte aus Queen und King ist, aber es ist also in meiner Lesart keine Transgender-Ansage, sondern einfach irgendwie der Versuch einer Irritation.
That's exactly what society does. It's like provides this like norm which everyone should try and be like.
Där sätter du i en mick. Because I do a lot of different things. But, for example, I've been working with a music camp for girls.
I was already a feminist, but I became angry and I wanted to have a right girl band.
And it gives me so much hope to meet you that are 14 and 15 years old. I see that things are changing, that people are not behaving like you should be, that things are happening.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I get really inspired when I listen to your songs and your lyrics. I get a lot of energy because you have so much energy, so you give out a lot of energy to other people.
I think a lot of young girls who want to play music, they never ever get around to do it.
Maybe you just don't want to do music your whole life. That's not the most important thing. But you're going to feel that you can if you want to.
Där satt den! Eller hur? Och så lite te med honung när du kommer hem.
Ich finde es spannend, in der nachfolgenden Generation auf den Tisch zu legen, so zu sagen, das und das und das fehlt euch. Ihr habt keinen Raum für euch, ihr habt keine Möglichkeit, eure eigene Mucke zu hören, geschweige denn eure eigene Mucke zu spielen oder zu produzieren. Oder einfach nur irgendeinen Ideenaustausch stattfinden zu lassen und da einfach unterstützend dabei zu sein. Dass halt auch Leute voneinander lernen können, wenn die sich irgendwas erkämpft haben und erstritten haben, dass das sozusagen, dass dieses Wissen auch weitergebracht wird. So. Und das verstehe ich auch in dieser Idee von erstens DIY, zweitens Non-Profit, dass auch Wissen weitergegeben wird. Und zwar nicht als dogmatisches so funktioniert's, sondern als, also wir haben es so gemacht, an der und der Stelle ist es total verkackt, kamen wir gar nicht voran und das klappt super, probier's mal aus.
It's like not only being against what society is around us, but wanting to like build up an alternative. Here in wagons. It's not a building, it's a wagon place. We're attempting to live DIY and we're attempting to live in a non-hierarchical, grassroots-based way.
You know, like culture?
Yeah. Oh, okay. We have no electricity, we have no weather protection. We live in a collective together. So we have a meeting every week to talk about how we organise the place. We have a kitchen which everybody takes part in and we cook every day and work out basics of how we live together. But we're going to be evicted soon, in the next few months. So we're currently fighting the eviction and seeking alternatives so that the project of Schwarzer Kanal can carry on.
Also habe ich immer Kontakt zu den Leuten, die vorne sitzen.
Ja.
Also wenn da keiner ist, setze ich mich da selber hin. Und
Genau, und so ein bisschen ein Auge darauf haben, ob die Polizei da sind. Und genau, und das Gleiche, also ein bisschen Einführung geben, wie das läuft.
Kein Problem, okay.
It's not just the people who live here who are Schwarzer Kanal. It's a project. Within the project, we've put on festivals here, a queer film festival, queer music festival. We're queer identified. It doesn't mean gay and lesbian, it means people who are open to challenging hetero norms in this society, or not just hetero norms, but like hierarchies, capitalism, challenging those norms. That's queer for us.
This is Sal, she's skanky. Take me as I am. Yes.
We have some posters for a festival that
Up Your Ears is a queer DIY music festival, so the idea is to put on bands who feel comfortable with that description. Every time we put on an event, we're totally doing it from like bare essentials, and we're not experts in anything.
Yeah, and then we get some string.
Check. Oh, yeah. Okay, this is monitor 2. Is it working? Yeah. Cool.
We really tried to put across this DIY concept.
I'm impressed. We look quite organised, but we're not. The bar ready.
The bar?
But we need to hang the lights, which
It was on all of our flyers, and anyone who once read anything to do with Up Your Ears would have read the word DIY and the sentence about helping out with something.
This is Madame Lisa. She's actually a good cook. She's coming from Cameroon, very professionalized. I'm Terry, so it's a good dish. Anybody wants to come and get this stuff, have no fear, welcome.
Ob diese Legende wie bei Ende auch unendlich ist, ist es so schmerzhaft, wenn man merkt, wie sehr doch sowas menschlich ist. Mir ist nur wichtig, dass es bei mir und euch auf Verständnis trifft. Das ist kein Hook, das sind 12 Minuten. Purpleism, Konsum, wie gerufen. Hindernisse sind vorbei, noch Routen. Wenn ihr es nicht wisst, müsst ihr es vermuten. Das ist kein Hook, das sind 12 Minuten. Purpleism, Konsum, wie gerufen. Hindernisse sind vorbei, noch Routen. Wenn ihr es nicht wisst, müsst ihr es vermuten.
Positively, it's really satisfying to build up things like and see and put your own visions into place. On the other hand, it's a struggle having to do everything from grassroots, from the bottom up.
Остатка иллюзий
USA and here in Europe, and in Russia it just started from nothing. It just started from scratch, started by a few kids.
It was like a small circle of people who believes and who were trying to be together because it was for us only one possibility to survive.
Political punk hardcore music in Russia make a lot of for some political movements because a lot of political DIY punk hardcore bands, they give good attitude to the people. Our political scene in Russia very young. We have not so long history of resistance. After breaking of Soviet Union, it's only less than 20 years, and sometimes people don't know what they can do. We have the real totalitarian state and real police state working not for the interest of the people who live in Russia.
The government and the authorities, they don't care about people at all. We don't have a real education right now. We don't have any social activities right now. People are just left to rot. We have 1% filthy rich and 99% filthy poor. Poor as shit, actually. These people, they realize that nobody cares about them. And at the same time, neo-Nazis use this situation very well. So they just demonstrated people that, join us. Join neo-Nazis in Russia and you will be all right. We'll give you work, job, we'll give you everything.
What we have in our country, and I think the same in Ukraine and Belarus, I think the same in Poland, and I think the same is here. It's a problem of stupid people. Of course, if we have a lot of Nazis, it's going deep to subculture, and this shit is everywhere. It's in the government, it's in the street, it's in your kitchen when you're speaking with your parents, and it's in the punk rock show.
I decided that I don't want to be a part of this scene. If I want to stay in the punk rock, I need to create my own scene.
So we started from lyrics about our scene, about our point, about that we disagree.
It's really dangerous to be an anti-racist, to be a person of color, to be a gay person in Russia. It's dangerous not that somebody can tell you something bad on the street. It means that people can kill you. Neo-Nazi movement is really huge. It's really popular among Russian youth. To be an anti-racist, it means that every day, like every hour when you are on the subway, on the bus, on the street, you should be ready for attack. You should be ready to defend yourself.
So you have your knives for self-protection?
Она спрашивает, вы используете ножи для самозащиты?
Exactly.
And did you use it so far for self-protection?
Never.
Are you afraid of using it?
Вы боитесь использовать ножи?
No.
But we didn't have such situations, and I'm glad that I didn't have this situation. If there will be some threat of my life, I will use it.
When our friend was killed in our concert, it was 3.5 years ago. It was, I think, our 6th or 7th concert ever of What We Feel, and he just came out from the metro station and in the middle of the road was attacked by 7 people, and they make him 30 knife hits, 30, to head, to neck, to face. Police said, we don't want to work about this thing. It's just like hooliganism. We don't want to work, we don't know how to find these persons, and things like that. We made a lot of benefit concerts, we sold a lot of CDs, we collect a big amount of money. We found a lawyer, he found this gang, and 4 people from 7 was arrested and now in jail. I think it's our victory, what we make together. It was really serious shit. Every week I got a phone call from some guys who told me, you must stop your activity or we will beat you, we will beat your girlfriend, I don't know, we will burn your flat and things like that. People was very scared to come to the show because they was scared about Nazi attacks or police attack to this place. But then movement grows up and now, I don't know, it's several thousands. I got a lot of emails from the people north of Russia, near the Japan side, and people just wrote that, wow, we just thought about it and you think about it, and for me it was the biggest pleasure in my life.
Right now we have a scene, we have a lot of bands, a lot of labels, like we have a real DIY scene.
People waited for the persons who must say the first word. Проверочная линейка, and what we feel, I think we say first word and said it very loud.
That there is a lot of other kids like us who are doing the same thing. Kids who don't want to have anything in common with Nazis.
In every city started to grow anti-fascist activity. People started to make fanzines, websites, their own bands, local shows with very good quality bands and a lot of people. After first album, a lot of people started to sympathize to anti-fascist movement, and for Nazis we are enemies number one.
And at the same time, we have police who just come to shut the gigs because somehow they see us as a threat. They called us extremists. Well, we are not extremists. We just play music and we express our views. We're singing about the simple fact that racism is wrong.
Government make a new law. This law against any extremist activity. It's a law against any people with different views from views of government. And so we all now are under pressure. And even if you are not a member of direct action gangs just for playing music.
Ну, сносительным с таким. Что было? Странно. Это за 140 рублей? Ясно.
In every country, you know, the social struggle, there were a lot of fighting, lots of problems with police, and finally, like those people who were fighting, they changed the society. They changed it for the better. for the more tolerant world. So I guess maybe these words are too loud, but we are fighting for a better future, actually, for a better future for a lot of people.
Стоять и не думать о том, то, что будет завтра, что будет потом. Верить в авось и не применять булана, молча выливаясь, как вода из-под крана. Кубометры лет, километры мечты, поглощая алкоголь, нагнетают сны, проливая взгляд на прохожий люд. Те, что не вернут, те, что не придут. Революция близка, революция возможна, революция всегда. Революция, ой! Опускаю себя, непонятно зачем, непонятно куда. Туда, где умерла надежда, где потухла любовь, где в отравленных жилах замерзает кровь. Умирать не страшно, если будешь прав. Кровь из носа лей, не меняя нрав. Если что-то вдруг потечет не так, одевай ботинки, живой кулак. Революция близка, революция возможна, революция всегда. Революция!
Punk rock, it's always something political. It's the roots of the punk rock and DIY scene. It's always some resistance and try to exchange something. And we think that the music, it's the only one part of our resistance. It's the first step to begin do something against this capital chaos which happened in the world.
Да, ну, скучно, поэтому анархия, конечно, их можно как-то объединить в какие-то группы, что у чего-то там у кого-то характерные мотивации. Я думаю, что чем больше человек, тем больше и мотиваций. Но по большей части давайте просто сделаем так, что мы можем дать людям, чтобы они к нам в движение приходили. Как мы их можем заставить мотивировать?
Практически, да, потому что если понять, почему люди вообще приходят, да, то там становится понятнее, как других мотивировать. Давайте по кругу тогда скажем, кто почему пришел.
Петиция говорит, хочешь поехать на собрание автономного действия? Я говорю, да. А сам думаю, сейчас приеду, мне бомбу дадут, я пойду взрывать. Значит, как все по традиции анархистов. Взял, власть разрушил и все, переворот. Ну, наивный был. Пришел, а там все сидят такие, еще там взрывать. Они какие-то наклейки, антивоенщина. Что-то мне так смутно. Думаю, ну все равно лучше, чем мои дуры-идиоты, которые бухают, вообще ни хрена не делают. Поклейку я наклеечки похожу, чего же не заняться. Вот. Ну и на собрание стал ходить. Вот, ну ходил, и там в процессе прочтения 1000 миллиардов книг, споров с миллиардами людей, пришел к тому, что я сейчас есть. А не ухожу, потому что, ну, первый момент, что все равно, а кто, если не я, этим будет заниматься? Второе, конечно, уже довольно-таки обидно за бесцельно прожитые годы и останавливаться. Ни хрена себе, всю молодость я убивал на это, еще сейчас развернуться и сказать, я лузер и неудачник, хрен там. Потому что если погибать так с музыкой.
И действительно, мне показалось, что
If I will not do it, I think that it will be no result. All this activity, all this concert, it's just for nothing.
We just need to fight back.
Замешу дерьмо, заживо гниет в казармах собственным гербом, полных офицерские карманы. Получаем опыт, класс, строя дачи, генерал, забирает из себе нам этого нормально даром. Пусть замешу дерьмо, заживо гниет в казармах собственным гербом, полных офицерские карманы. Получаем опыт, класс, строя дачи, генерал, забирает из себе нам этого нормально даром. Легко забыть об этом, когда ты уже отмазан, когда успешно откосил и тебе давно заказан. Вынужденными казармы духом сужаных дедов, битого здоровья, отбитых почек и мозгов. Школа мужиков научит настоящей жизни. Политика говорит, верни, сука, только чисть. Крутостная ведущая спорит с укористой. Играют коточков, время не одобрит, люди слизь. Каждый должен отслужить, казарме покажут как жизнь. Сильным угождать, слабых топить себе могилу рыть. Должен ты ценить, как бездарный я бы смог 20 лет стать коллегой без надежды, работы без ног. Истекает кровью, брошенной на поле боя. Разорванная селезенка, умер в карауле стоя. На минут концов отряд было бы бойцов. Где-то ранит твою мать, прижав спиной ей в лицо. Пусть замешу дерьмо, заживо гниет в казармах собственным гербом, полных офицерские карманы. Получаем опыт, класс, строя дачи, генерал, забирает из себе нам этого нормально даром. Пусть замешу дерьмо, заживо гниет в казармах собственным гербом, полных офицерские карманы.
Our message to everybody in any corner of the world, just start something and don't be afraid, don't listen to people who just tell you like don't do this, like you're suicidal, it's stupid, get a real life. Like get a real life actually, just do what you want to do and you'll see that it would be hard, it would give you some scars definitely, but you'll see results anyway.
It's rather seeing it as a slow process of like osmosis rather than like overnight revolution. I mean, we're obviously not there yet, but yeah, you have to start somewhere.
It's important that we communicate that we need to make a change. We have to do this change together.
I would quite like to, learn how to make explosives and shoot people and go and, take out some of the bastards who fuck this world up. Realistically, I probably wouldn't be too good at doing that, and they would probably catch me before I actually managed to do it. So, a step down from that kind of level of direct action, shall we say, or terrorism, or whatever you want to put it, is doing something which I actually think in the long term might be more useful, and that is just trying to get these ideas out that there are, there is an alternative, a serious alternative.
The problem is we're living right in the middle of this huge society, so everyone's getting pulled in 1,000 directions by mainstream society. There's all these pressures on us which are getting in the way of us focusing on sorting out stuff here on the DIY level.
The fact is, if we want to break the political system, we can't do it with something which mirrors the political system.
I do because I believe in it and I want to just help. If I didn't do anything, I would just hate myself too much to want to, to carry on.
Try to live now, really. Try to live and work with what you have. Work within what is possible. And that's for you to decide, really. It's as big and as grand as you can make it.
Stick to your politics, believe in what you believe in, and make sure you do it.
Como que eso es el optimismo, ¿no? Es una fuerza que dice, lo podemos hacer.
You don't even have to believe that you can do it, you just have to try. Yeah. And then you find out afterwards that fucking hell, it worked.
Yeah, it's easy, not magic.
And if you don't take the ideas out of the hall to your working place, to your family or whatever you do, then it's pretty much useless.
Get back to the society. And this is my way. This is my point of view. This is what I'm standing for. I do hope I will be standing for that till the end, or at least for a long time.
tanta quererlo.